Hello, hi, this is Lokesh from Radical Coaching, like Radical Life Purpose Coaching and Training here from Thailand. And we have a very special guest today, Guru Pashupati, all the way from India. Namaste, Guruji. How are you doing?
Namaste.
So glad to talk to you. And I'm so excited. And my mind is going quantum, but I'm going to try, try to calm down. And I will just request you to just give a brief introduction about yourself, please.
All right. My name is Pashupati, and I was born in Bangalore, India, and I met my guru when I was just 12 years old, and he had come to save me from some really bad uh, bullying that was going on in my life because I tried everything. I tried martial arts. I learned martial arts. They didn't teach me how to fight 10 people, so it was not happening. And so, after getting a lot of beatings, then I was not able to enter through my front gate. I had to go through the neighbor's gate, climb the wall, jump into my house. That was the kind of situation. And it was very humiliating, and there was a lot of problems. So, anyway, that's something I used to deal with. But then one day I decided I can't be like this hiding all the time. I'm going to deal with it. So I went out there and there was a bloody fight. It was really bad.
Mm,
And I got beaten up, obviously, really bad. And then they smeared my face with cow dung and threw me into the gutter.
mm,
And if I tried getting out of the gutter, they would whack me with cricket bats and then they started playing cricket. So I couldn't even move from there. And I was feeling very humiliated and frustrated. And I was also feeling very righteous. I felt like
mm,
I have searched really for knowledge on how to protect myself, and I haven't found it. So I was really mad at Shiva. I said, you just resign from being a god. Resign. Don't be a god. You know?
mm.
And that's what I told him. And then there was this man just walked over to me suddenly. The moment I said this to Shiva, you resign as a god. Don't be a god anymore. And
Mm.
then this person walked over to me, very shining forehead, like a lot of tejas. Tejas is luster.
Hello? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, my
Yeah.
YouTube was playing. Go ahead.
All right, sorry. So then he told me that he'll teach me how to fight, and that's what he did. Over a period of a month or two, he really did some really hard training, which I can't even explain. And I became capable of defending myself, beating up these people, and having a terrific ability to even kill people if I want. I learned so fast, like a commando, he trained me. And then he left. And
Mm,
the training also was really hard. It wasn't in some dojo with gloves. He used to take me to a place and say, pick a fight with that person. And see, he'd pick someone really tough. And then I had to prove my skills. Then I also had stammering, so I couldn't really speak. So I used to go and spit on their face. And then they would get angry and start fighting. And that was the first lessons to me about self-reliance. And later he just came back when I was 18. This time he came back to tell me that I have a lot of karma to do normal things like normal people so that I
yeah.
don't grow an ego and feel that I'm special. Because even as I was 18, I was already an entrepreneur and
Mm,
I had bought my parents a house and we were living there. And that's the house he came to. And then he was like, I'm really going to uh, I'm gonna come for you, but you had to be patient and you had to undergo all your karma. I didn't know what that meant. I
yeah.
said, waiting some more. I just don't want to do the regular things. I don't want to be married and have a family, and I just didn't want to do that. But
Mm,
it happened. So the moment it happened, when I got married at 23, it happened really quick.
right.
Then that even when I got married, I told my wife, my
Was it
ex-wife,
arranged or
no, no, no. I fell in love when I got married and all that.
okay?
And that was a lot of suffering. I can't describe it in any other way because I feel that there are no. That's when I started to learn how to communicate properly, and what I started formulating uh, my rules about what a relationship has to be like.
Yeah, because you know what you don't want, right? It's first it's good, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
used my inventive scientific brain to do that, and I was about to go and study quantum physics, and I was already studying it. But I
Mm,
quit as a scientist, and I said, I'd rather be an artist. So I just became an artist for some years. I kept drawing. My paintings became quite famous, and I started selling my paintings to the Mysore Maharaja as well.
mm,
And then what happened is that I had to I got divorced. This was 9 years later.
mm,
So at uh, at 32, I found myself um sitting at Varanasi. A series of events. I was sitting at Varanasi. I
mm,
had to do the last rites of my father-in-law and also his mother, and that's what I was doing at Varanasi alone. Situations happen like that. I had to take their ashes and get that done because
mm.
they had died in different places. So I brought the ashes and I was getting the rituals done. And that guy, the priests there said, "Yo,
Mm. Yeah.
if you're..." So the priest there, he said that if you're going to do your uh,
Rituals.
father-in-law's ceremony, you will
Yeah.
become his son and you will become the brother of your wife. And
Uh,
and I said, yeah, that's already happened. So let's just do it.
mm,
And I did it, and then I came back and I said, we got to like end this because it's not working. But before I came back, I was sitting in all night swatting mosquitoes at
yeah.
Manikarnika Ghat, watching all the heads go boom. So much fun.
Mm,
I was
mm,
just sitting and watching,
yeah.
and I was like, I really need knowledge. Otherwise, I'm going to end up like these guys,
Mm,
dead with two pieces of cotton in my nose and having my head burst.
yeah.
So that's not what I want to do with my life. And if that's the end of my life, then what's the point? Kill me now.
Yeah.
Why should I even live?
Right, right,
What
right.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
And then my guru, Mahatar Babaji, came from far away. I saw him coming from far away. I could see that light and that aura, and I recognized it immediately. And
Can I
I,
ask a quick question?
yes, please.
So how did you know, had you studied about Mahavatar Babaji,
No,
or yeah, how did you know that it was him? Because many people talk
I
about him,
didn't
but
know. I
oh,
had no idea.
later you asked him? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you, like, did you have a conversation or was it like
First time he
telepathic?
came to me, he came in a different form. He came as a Gurkha. The Nepalis often come
Yeah.
here and
Yeah,
they are
Bahadur, they call Bahadur.
watchmen.
Bahadur.
Everyone calls him Bahadur because they are very brave.
Yeah,
And he was called Julke, which in their language means brave only.
right.
So that's when he came to me first.
Yeah.
But the second time he came in his own form. And I had no idea because I hadn't read autobiography of a yogi, and then
Yeah.
images of Babaji were not available at that time.
Do you
So
think there's
no
only
idea.
one? Because, just to go on a tangent, like, for
Hmm.
example, Jesus Christ, people say that there were many people with, his energy, and then different people met, and then they kind of combined all the teachings into one. Is it the same with Mahavatar Babaji, or is it just
They
one?
have done some Jesusification of his image also. He's a
Hmm.
Tamilian. He was born in Parangipette.
Who?
Mahavatar Babaji.
Okay, okay.
His skin is like mine. It is not white.
So what I want
The,
to know is it was it just one human being, or sorry, not was, because he's still living, right? Is it just
yeah,
one human being called Mahavatar Babaji, or there's many?
there is only one. There are not many Mahavatar
So
Babajis. But
when
I
people
think that.
talk about the lineages of Paramahansa Yogananda, and then there's many, right? So is it they're talking about the same?
Yeah, yeah, the same person. Yeah. He told me
But the
what he had done with
teachings,
all of them as well.
yeah, I think the teachings, are the teachings also the same, or like
No, of
on
course
different?
not. It's a different time. Why will he send the same teachings?
Oh, okay, okay. That's where, okay, okay, I see. Yeah.
Look, man, everybody grows and learns, including Mahathir Babaji.
All right.
He's made a
Yeah.
lot of mistakes in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm experiment number 147 or what am I, but
Yeah.
I'm
Is it?
not ill-equipped to do what I have to do. I'm
Okay,
very
okay. So
confident.
it's more like new version 2.0, 3.0. Because even for Christianity, there's like Old Testament, New Testament, they keep updating. But then my real question is like, if the teachings keep getting updated, then and the same thing with the others, some of the other scriptures, right? Like Bible and stuff. Is like, how would if it keeps getting updated, how do we know what is the real source
Why
or
do
the?
you have to know? Why don't you follow who makes sense?
You mean in the current time,
Why do you
whatever?
have to follow a particular name, Mahathir Babaji? Why can't
Oh,
you
I
see the
see.
wisdom in what I teach?
Okay. So don't shoot the messenger, just look at the message. Or don't shoot, but don't pray to the messenger, but just look at the message.
Listen, Lokesh, we have to have something called a frame. And inside that
Right,
frame
right.
is who am I? Who am I with? What are we doing together? And
Mhm.
what's the environment like? We
It
have to
doesn't
figure it
matter.
out,
Yeah,
right?
it
If you
doesn't
want to have
matter
the
if it
Zoom
happened.
meeting,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have to figure out a place where I don't get you all the traffic noise from here. I have to figure out ways because I know the environment, right?
Mm.
So in the similar way, we know that we're talking together to help people to learn more. And now is the time to learn something called a frame so that we stay in frame
Okay.
even in this interview. uh, what are we doing together? Has to be clear. I thought we're here to help people to learn more and deepen the yogic
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah. No, I mean that's where I'm because I'm not talking from my point of view, like because it's a question many people might have, right? I mean, that's the reason I started this
I
podcast.
know, and the
Yeah.
answer is, do you have a frame? To consider this an important question, it shows that you don't have a frame.
So the framing is also in the NLP
There are
also they talk.
questions,
Yeah,
and there
yeah.
are important key leveraging questions that will help people transform their lives. And these questions doesn't change your life. Is
So
there
okay.
six Mahathir Babajis? Are there seven? Who
Okay.
cares?
Okay.
Right?
And so
It's not
what
an important
happened in the
question, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, so what you're saying is doesn't matter what happened in
If
the
it
past.
matters, you tell me why it matters, then I'll take it seriously.
Okay, so let's think of a scenario where so let's go to just a little bit of tangent. The Vedas and the Upanishads, right? They were written about 10,000 years ago.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So now, were there any updates done after that, or is it the original source?
No, it's Vyasa's work. And
Okay, so the
it's flowed
interpretation,
out, it's flowed
different
out from
people.
a divine source. They don't need updations. They're
Okay,
all
so yeah, that's where I'm getting at is like the interpretation sometimes distorts the teachings, right? That's what I was getting to.
listen, at
Because,
the end of the day, it's all Sanatan Dharma. So it's
right.
all rooted in the Vedas, it's all rooted in the Puranas. This
Okay.
is the source of all our knowledge. And we should stick to that. Okay, newfangled ideas that people have been throwing about who are saying that they're students of Mahathir Babaji doesn't make
Mm.
sense to me because they're not rooted in the Vedas. They don't have any Vedic understanding. They just keep talking. It's a big mishmash of various Western philosophies mixed with Indian philosophies. Something is going on. So,
Okay.
by the quality of that, you can know
Yeah.
whether you want to and you want to engage with me or with somebody else.
Yeah. Of course.
Anyone.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How many direct students do you think currently Mahatma Babaji has besides you?
I have no idea because
No.
he deals with 18 planets,
Okay.
not just our planet. On our planet itself, he'll have many students,
Right.
and everyone's engaged in some mission of their own. I got my own mission too, and it's
Okay.
in my name.
So what?
It's in my name.
Can you explain?
Pashupati is the name that he gave me.
What does it mean?
So it means the protector and the leader of animals. But here, the animal doesn't refer to the animals. It
Mm.
refers to the human mind that is caught
Okay.
in a loop and is not able to think its way creatively through its problems because the human being's only asset is their mind. We don't have
Mm.
nails, claws, tail, wings, nothing. We
Yeah.
have a mind.
Right.
So
Right.
if a human being gets mentally disabled or
Mm.
mentally unhealthy, then they start to act like animals. and they start to have fear trauma responses just like animals, and they
Hmm.
start having all sorts of stuff like animals short-sightedness about the future.
Fear,
And
yeah. Fear of fight or flight, right? Yeah.
yeah, so they get into that kind of animal nature, which is all about the brain stem. Most people could operate if you just left them with their brain stem. They don't need any other part of their brain.
So
Okay.
that's the
Could do
instinct,
everything in their life.
basic instinct, what they call, right?
Yeah. They just need the language center and they're done. Right. So
Right.
we have to get above these base instincts, like you call
Yeah, yeah.
them,
Right, right.
then rise into what is a human being's thought pattern. And that's what I'm here to protect. That's what I'm here to teach. And that's
Right.
what I'm here to lead people into.
Right.
It's my
So
mission.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, you talk about 1 million, what is it called?
I figured that if I make 1 million siddhas, it'll
Siddhas.
form something called a Siddha Sindhu,
Right.
out of which the whole of humanity can drink, which is the ocean of siddhas, you
Yeah.
know. So it's an ocean of nectar which humanity can drink from. That's what I want to build.
Is it same as Amrit, what they call Amrit or
Amrit, yes, Amrit means is Amrit refers to one of the effects of the nectar, which
hmm.
is to make yourself immortal. The nectar is
Hmm.
knowledge, of course.
Yeah.
Knowledge makes you immortal if you have the knowledge.
So you're saying your mission in this life is to create 1 million siddhas who can live a life, what you call immortal life, not like
Mhm. Who don't
uh,
have to die
yeah,
unless they want to.
moksha not after death, but while living, right? Yeah,
What's the meaning of
that's your
moksha
main
after
thing.
death?
Yeah, I
Moksha
know
after
that.
death is a joke, right? You look into the Mrityunjaya mantra, which is written in the Rig Veda. It
Right.
says, Mrityor mokshya mamritat. Give me moksha from death and never from immortality. That's what we are asking Shiva.
Yeah, so that's the distortion I was talking about, right? Like when people
Where's the
interpret.
distortion? It's in the Vedas.
No,
If
no,
you read the Puranas, if you read Devi
yeah,
Puranas, it says
yeah.
that if you read this chapter, you'll become immortal. If you understand what's in this chapter, you'll become immortal. So keep reading that chapter. The clues of immortality are here. And they're there. It can be pointed out to you by a guru.
So immortality can also mean living in the astral world. People say, oh, I can live in any
No,
world.
no,
So,
no. Lokesh, immortality means healing faster than you damage yourself, repairing faster than damage. That's it. That's all it means. If you can repair every cell of yours faster than it
mm,
gets damaged, you are immortal. Children
but
are immortal until they start damaging faster than they repair.
do I have to have my body for me to be immortal?
Yes, how else will you be immortal?
So what about like Buddha and Shiva and like are they immortal and do they have
Yeah,
body?
Shiva has taken so many births. He came as Lakulesh in a human body and he's immortal.
And Buddha,
Buddha, Gautam
Gautam Buddha,
Buddha,
yeah.
he died at 82.
So does it mean he's not immortal?
No, he's not. He died.
So his was
Vajraguru, on the other hand, didn't die. Padmasambhava, he's
okay.
immortal.
Okay, okay. So some teachers come for just for the teachings and some come to show the immortality, right? Is
I
that
don't think there's any teaching other than immortality in the Vedas.
I'm just comparing like Sanatan Dharma Hinduism with Buddhism, let's say. So what is the main difference?
Buddhism also says at a later stage, Buddha said that you have to come back as a bodhisattva again and again to liberate people. So he's not as sophisticated as the Sanatan Dharma because we don't have to come back again and again. We can
So
sit here and help people.
it's like an offshoot, just like Sikhism and all these, the offshoots of Sanatan Dharma. Is that
Sikhism isn't an offshoot of Sanatan Dharma. That's so bad to call them that. They have their own religion by their own guru, Guru Nanak. It has nothing to do with the Vedas. Yes,
okay?
they
So
do. They do respect the ideas of
right.
the Vedas in some parts of the Granth Sahib, which is now the guru for them.
Mhm,
But they also refer to Bulle Shah and so many other non-Sanatani Sufi teachings.
mhm.
So it's a religion of its own. It's come up by its own with its own tradition. So it's nothing
All
to do
right.
with
So
Sanatan.
yeah, we're talking about core teaching. So you're saying the core teaching, one of the core teachings of Sanatan Dharma is immortality, right? And
Dharma,
Buddhism,
Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the four teachings.
right, right. Can you just quickly go over each one?
Dharma means doing your duty.
Yeah.
which means, in other words, knowing right from wrong, doing the right thing.
Right.
And that is possible when you have laksha. When you have a goal, you know right and wrong. If my goal is to come to Delhi, if I go towards Pakistan, it's not a right go. It's not right.
So
But
who
everything I do to
decides?
go towards Delhi is right. Everything I do to that takes me away from the path is wrong. Simple. Right and wrong is
So
very simple.
what if like who is to decide what's right is right or like if I may not think of something as right, but who validates that? Who confirms that?
Your goal. Going to listening? Your goal. So without a goal, you can't know right and wrong. Everyone has to agree on the goal.
But goal
They
could
agree on the
also
goal. It's
be
easy to verify. Does it go to the goal or not? It's easy to verify.
can't the goal also be misaligned with my purpose?
You have to align with your purpose only. Your goal and purpose are same. Why are they different?
So what I'm asking is, how do I know that my goal or purpose is my ultimate goal and purpose? You know what I'm like? Somebody's goal might be I
You
want to.
guess and you
Yeah.
take it and you go on the path. If you don't like it, change your mind.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's where I was getting at. It's not like fixed that once I
No,
decide.
it's not.
Okay. Right. Because there's also.
You can
Yeah.
always change your mind. When you change your mind, other people will reject you, and that's okay. You have to be ready to face the consequences, and you can change your mind. That's not a dharma. If you inform them that I've changed my mind, it's not a dharma.
I see. I see. So there's no such thing because sometimes people think of purpose is like, okay, once I decide I'm going to give it my 100% and
I'll tell you why Hinduism is called a dharma.
yeah,
Sanatan is called a dharma, Sanatan dharma.
yeah,
Because the main important thing that we have to learn is dharma. Have a goal and judge what you're doing is right and wrong according to the goal.
right,
Every Sanatani is expected to do this.
right.
If you're able to do this, you will not have any problem in your life. You will get wealth, artha, you will get sex, kama, and you will get moksha, immortality. It's no problem. You'll get all these things.
So the role of a guru in all this is it like validation? Like, does the guru validate the student that they're on the right path, or what's the role of the guru?
There is my role, I can tell you. I don't know what's the role of other gurus, but my role is that there is a huge layer of miseducation, and I want to help people to think for
Mm,
themselves and
yeah,
decide what's right and wrong
and
by
that can
giving them
also
the right techniques, which is mentioned in the Vedas.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they have to have
Look, I'm
that
a
base.
teacher of the Vedas. Every guru is actually a teacher of what is contained in the Vedas. So
Okay,
that's really
yeah,
what
okay.
a guru has to do.
So that's where I was going to like Vedas come from India right now. What about the rest of the world, like India? Like,
There
let's
was
say,
only Sanatan Dharma. Every
yeah,
dharma has come out of it. Sanatan means eternal. So our timeline doesn't exist or doesn't go back to 10,000 years. Islam's timeline is still 500 and something BC.
right, right,
And
okay.
Christianity's timeline is something like 2000 years. Okay? And you
Hmm.
can take any religion in the world. Sikhism though is very less timeline, a few hundred years.
Yeah.
And so like that, you can see that there are many religions springing up, but Sanatan
Mhm.
has an origin. Who knows when? It is the eternal thing. We don't know when it originated. And there are cycles that they talk about that no other religion can even talk about.
Yeah.
In terms of time, the
Mhm.
stuff that we've recorded is something else. So our
Right.
timeline is very deep and very long in Sanatan.
So do
It's a
you think,
mature religion.
yeah, right. Do you think people from India, from people who were following Sanatan Dharma, they went to other countries around the world and
Yes, if you look at Ramayana, you will see
yeah,
the map of the world at that time. In
yeah.
the Treta Yuga,
Mm,
what was the map of the world?
right.
When Sita is lost, Sugriv
Mm,
says, I'm going to send all my people looking for her. And then he instructs them, his son Angad and Hanuman and everyone, he instructs them as to what they'll find when they go in which direction. An entire map of the globe has been given thousands of years ago, before people even invented boats in other countries. So
yeah.
this land has been very special in terms of the evolution of the human beings here. It's come to a very mature level, and India will always remain the world teacher.
So what about Africa? Because I follow some like African
It was
Americans and
all
Af
part of Sanatan Dharma. You look at us South
okay.
Indians, we look like Africans. So it's all like that, you know, it's all part of the same thing. They also used to follow it, but now what remains after the assaults? Because it's Kali Yuga, it's supposed to happen. What's the fun if you win all the time? You win some, you lose some, then the game's interesting.
Right,
Would you
right.
play cricket with a bunch of kids? You'll win all the time. What's the point? You won't have fun.
So it's like chaos, chaos to the max, or you think it's going to get even more
Look,
chaotic?
the Earth is a very interesting place because it
Yeah,
has at a border. It's a border district in Devi's creation. Devi
right,
is the divine feminine creatress from which the entire universe came. From her womb, we are
right.
said to emerge. That womb is called Hiranyagarbha
Yeah.
in the Vedas. So the ones that emerged from that womb are 14 worlds.
Mm,
And in those 14 worlds, Earth is on the border district between heavens and hells. Earth is
right.
one of the heavens, the first of the heavens, and there
Mm,
are seven hells. Okay,
okay.
so when you look at it, the Earth was created by the fat that came from two asuras, Madhu and Kaitap,
Mm,
and it has and some evil tendencies. It supports evil,
uh,
and
okay.
it allows animals to eat each other and be evil, and it loves that. Okay, the Earth enjoys it. You can't deny it. If you go out and live in the forest, the first thing you'll be scared of is being eaten. Okay.
Yeah, that's why they call it the
Nature is ruthless.
dog eat dog wood.
Nature is ruthless. And in
Yeah.
that, we have human beings who suddenly had the capacity to do good.
So that's where, yeah, like we
So
were
the
talking.
capacity to distinguish good from evil.
Yeah, so it's like we're in the middle and we can either go up or down. So it's up to us.
It's up to us. It's very easy for us to slip into hellish behaviors. It's very easy for us to slip into divine behaviors also. But we have to choose consistently who we are going to be.
Okay, going back to the yugas, the Kali Yuga, you think
Hmm.
how long it's going to last? Uh,
4 lakh 32,000 years, and out of which 6,000, 5,000 have passed.
Only 5,000, like
Only
1%, less than
5,000. Yeah, it's
1%.
the beginning of Kali Yuga. So,
So why do some people say that it's about to end?
because utter
Kali.
ignorance, their followers can't verify in the Vedas. If you read any Purana, you'll know the length of every Yuga and where we are.
Okay. Okay. Because even last year there were some videos on YouTube. They're
Latent
like,
ignorance being
yeah,
peddled just because nobody else knows. No, in the blind people's land, the one-eyed man is king.
right. Yeah, that's where sometimes I get confused. Is the truth like if like 10 people are saying different things, it all comes back to me
Well,
how.
read the Vedas, read the Puranas. Why you need to listen to 10 people?
Okay, yeah, that's where we come to
It's a
language. We were,
foolproof system because it's been written down and preserved. And you can't believe how much of material has been preserved despite all the assaults on Sanatan by, the invaders who came here, the Greeks, the Persians, the Turks, and how many people invaded India? And then finally the British and the French and everybody's had a go on this land.
yeah, so the
And
sun,
still we have it.
yeah,
What?
so
How? Africa lost their whole religion.
yeah, so that's where because they were written, Vedas and Upanishads were written in Sanskrit. And do you think Sanskrit was deliberately removed from the education system or
Sanskrit cannot be learned just with the scholarship of grammar and knowledge of vocabulary. Sanskrit is a magical language, and
Mm,
it includes within it a natural language called Shabra.
mm,
And this is in the sounds of the Sanskrit word. And all this
mm,
you learn only in a Gurukulam, where I learned from my Guru.
mm,
So every one of those sounds has power,
mm,
and at how it moves your energy. When you say the word Nama, for
mm.
example,
Yeah.
Namo or Nama,
Om
which
Namah
means
Shivaya. Yeah.
which is a kind of prostration, right? It's a kind of oblation. Okay,
Shabad, like what they call Shabad, right?
obeisance. Sorry, not oblation. Oblation is washing yourself, I think.
Mm.
Obeisance.
We are
Okay.
also washing ourselves, but metaphorically.
Uh-huh. But watch what happens with the prana inside your mouth, the air,
Yeah.
when you say Nama.
Nama.
It flows like as if you're bending down. That's the Shabra part of Sanskrit, and that no scholar can learn. They have to learn this from a guru, and they have to see how energy moves, and they have to be aware of prana, they have to know what it is. So Sanskrit is a language that moves prana, unlike any other language. But a lot of Indian languages are based on Sanskrit, so they also move prana. So
Ah,
it's a very scientific language. It's put down in very, I mean, you can say it's a tantric language, right? For our word for science is tantra.
yeah.
So it's a tantric language. There is no other tantric language except Tamil, which is also based on the same thing.
That reminds me of Hebrew. A lot of the Westerners, they say Hebrew has is a similar language based on sound.
Yeah,
I don't,
maybe Hebrew. I don't know Hebrew, so I can't comment.
okay, okay. So going back to Kali Yuga, so you're saying it's going to get worse, but also at the same time we have the opportunity to rise above, right?
Hmm.
So that's kind of a push and pull that's happening right now.
Yeah, it's an intense time for warriors to be born right now. Only warriors are being born right now.
And by warrior, you mean like mental or physical or both?
Both. The ability to be mentally a warrior comes from the warrior body. How can, like, you look at the generals nowadays? My God, I feel like laughing. How can they're so out of shape? What war will they fight?
Hmm. But why do we need to fight? Because earlier we needed to fight because animals used to attack us, right? But now there's no animals
Now the
attacking.
fight is of knowledge. Knowledge is what we use to fight. We don't fight like animals. A hand-to-hand combat is not how we go to war. We go to war with ideologies.
So you're saying fighting with the distortion of truth.
Look, we have goals, immortality. Anything that leads me to immortality is right. If it doesn't lead me to immortality, is wrong. So I have to fight the wrong.
Yeah, that's where we get into the meaning and the language because immortality has different meanings for
No
different.
different meaning. It means this body repairing itself faster than it damages. Weren't you listening?
No, no, I'm not saying from
There's
my
no
point
debate
of
here.
view. No, I'm saying from general because it's not just me and you who live in this world. I'm saying generally when we talk about immortal, people
Hmm.
think like I was saying earlier, immortal doesn't mean we have to have the body.
Why? Where else will you live?
Like they say, talk about
The
astral world.
vehicle of life.
Okay. So those words, the astral word and all, when up.
Astral world does exist, but you need a body to send yourself out of and come back to.
Okay, okay, I see. It's not that we just go there, live there
There are
for.
disembodied astral beings. They're called devas. They don't have a body. Their body is made out of sound. But they have a body, and that body is made out of sound. And they also have to be careful about immortality. And they got immortality, all the devas, after they drank the Amrit. But the Asuras unfortunately didn't get immortal. Their body is also made of sound, but they are mortal.
Okay, okay. So that's
Except
the
Rahu and Ketu, who got sliced in two by Vishnu and therefore is not functional. But he's
right.
immortal.
So that what we call astral world, generally speaking, is what you would consider a higher level,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Rahu and Ketu are astral planets. They're not
Okay.
real planets. They're not like,
Rahu and
they're not
Ketu,
made from Bhu.
English
Bhu
is
means
Jupiter.
Bhuta, okay?
In English is Jupiter, right?
No, no. In English, I don't know. They call it South Node, North Node, something.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
So that would be the higher planes, and the lower planes would be the talas, what you call the hell
The
under.
talas, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
The
So
talas are all in your head. The word tala means head.
so that means if we are depressed or
You'll
something,
be
then
living on this earth,
yeah.
but you'll be having a life where you're born again and again and again and again and again. That's a tala.
Okay. Do you
Hmm.
think the moon because some people say that moon, like when we die, we go, we go through the moon and then moon has this energy of recycling, putting us back, or is it just a Western concept?
Well, look, there is a river that separates the living and the dead. The
Yeah.
Tibetans talk about it, and even the Garud Puran talks about it. It's called Vaitharni.
Yeah.
We call it Mahakali in our Akhada because we
Okay.
consider that river as a force of Mahakali.
Yeah.
So you can have people, oh, the Tibetans call it, I don't know, I forget what they call it.
Or
And the
the
Egyptians also spoke about it.
Bardo, right? The Bardo, 7 Bardo.
Bardos are the lands which are beyond that river,
Oh,
I
okay,
think.
okay.
And
Okay.
that's what I think. I don't know so much about Buddhism.
Mm.
But the Egyptians also had this idea that there's a
Yeah,
river.
right, right.
And so when people die, they go across that river. And
Mm.
then to which thala they get pulled, we don't know.
Okay, okay. So there's a like different, it could be different, interpreted differently. Like as in moon could be one of those river.
When you go to a thala, you have to live vicariously on somebody who has a body. You'll
Oh,
exist as a software inside someone's head, and you'll feel that it's happening to you. So
oh.
everybody who's suffering has got either they are in a thala or one of their ancestors are in a thala and they're making them suffer.
So it's almost like possession, what they call possession.
Yeah, possession, yeah. So a lot
So
of people get possessed by their own ancestors.
so they could be good or bad, right?
Yeah, could be
Because
good or
that's
bad.
what, yeah, like they call
But
ghost,
if they get possessed by an ancestor who is in the heavens, they'll become very divine.
what you call the devas, right?
You could also get possessed by the devas, yes.
And then if you go down underworld, it's more like ghosts and stuff like that.
Yeah, different horrible formed beings, which are all thought forms. They're like a bunch of thoughts got together, and there's only a boundary of thoughts which that can have. It can't have more thoughts than that. The bunch of thoughts have taken their own life, and so they are grotesque in their form.
So it's like they were like either they were addicted to something or they could not fulfill something in their life and they're still waiting for that to happen, right?
Yeah, there's always a story, and it's some sad story always.
Yeah, and that's where we don't want to go, right?
That's why we don't get attached to stories.
You mean, what do you mean?
Yogis don't get attached to stories.
You mean like, can you give me an example? Like, what do you mean, like, don't get?
All knowledge comes from the past,
Hmm.
okay? And all desire comes from the future.
Hmm.
We want something to be some way in the future, and that's where all desire comes from. And all action power is in the present. This is called Ichha, Kriya, and Jnana Shakti.
Right.
Jnana Shakti comes from the past, knowledge power.
Yeah.
Whereas Ichha Shakti, desire power, comes from the future,
Yeah.
and action power is only in the present moment.
Yeah.
But people have not kept their present spacious to act. They are overwhelmed themselves with thoughts of the past or the future.
Okay.
So they don't have spaciousness in the present to
I
be
see.
calm and cool and act. So they've disabled their own Kriya Shakti and they've only selected selective knowledge and they're not expanding the knowledge. People don't want to get out of this hole of whatever knowledge they have. And
Yeah.
because of their attachment to that knowledge, and that knowledge comes as a story. That's the past. Every story is
Mm.
knowledge. So because of various stories, dog bit me when I was 5, I will be scared of dogs forever.
So that could also be in the
Trauma.
subconscious mind because sometimes we don't even remember, but it's in our subconscious mind, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to remember it. It's become a part of your habit, which you can call subconscious mind.
So that's where things like hypnotherapy,
Autopilot. Yeah.
autopilot, right? But then how do we first first thing is to become aware and then we have to do something
First is
about
to bend your body and realize that you have control over this body. That's called asana.
control over the body, meaning what does that mean, control over the body?
That means you can control how this body makes itself in every way. You can transform your body. Okay? You need to have an experience of transforming your body. If you can do that, you'll have the confidence that I can then control my mind as well.
Like, can you give me an example of transforming the body? What does
I would
that?
say that the body is the sediment of the mind.
Okay, yeah.
That's really what it is. So
So it's like breaking out of a pattern or learning a new pattern. So as soon as I learn, my body also changes.
if you change the solution, then the solvent also will change, you know.
Yeah, it's like chicken or egg, like which one came first. So it's like
No,
both
no, mind came first. It's the
mind.
mind that creates the body, right? Obviously.
So, but you're
There,
saying,
there has to be software for your body to organize itself into fingers, into whatever,
but
brain, kidney, and
you're saying that even we can do it through the body also, right? You're saying if we
no, no,
change.
no. You change your mind first. You have to change who you think you are. When you
Oh,
change who
okay.
you think you are, your body will transform,
Oh,
and
okay,
asana
okay. So
helps
that
you to stabilize that body, to put it into autopilot.
so that's where the
New
Western.
body into autopilot makes new body.
I
Because
see.
autopilot is very powerful.
Yeah. So I think that's where I see the Western concept of yoga is like body
Totally.
first, when
Yeah.
mind, or is that where the difference is between?
If you steal the whole thing, if you steal a little bit, then it'll become Western yoga.
So you're saying yoga starts from the mind.
Mhm.
Okay, the niyamas and all
Yogas
those.
chitta vritti nirodha, says
Yeah.
Patanjali. Chitta means mind. And it says that it removes the limitations of the mind. It removes the limited knowledge of the mind and makes it infinite and makes it progressive.
Right. Wow. Let's my mind is already blown. So let's see how many. Oh, we have about 39 people watching. So if anybody has any questions, let me just read the chat here. Uh, but thanks everybody for joining, and thanks also Guru Pashupati again. Um, yeah, we just went right into it, so we didn't. We were going to go through step by step, but let me just read what we have here. Don't. Yeah, there's not really any. Uh, okay, there's not really any questions. So let's go through. So today's. So this is a four-part series, and today's topic is unified theory of everything. And the
Mm.
tagline is no drama, only Rama. So I found that funny. That's you talk about this a lot. So maybe for those who are watching, maybe you can give a quick overview of Rama as a god and also as a like a metaphorically what it means.
Rama is a power of beauty. That's what Ramya means, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah,
So Rama is the Bij mantra for beauty. So if you
yeah,
want to infuse something with beauty, then you need to use the mantra Ram.
mm,
But how to use a mantra, nobody knows.
yeah.
There are four ways of saying a mantra, and you have to learn all four ways.
Mhm.
The first way is loudly, like this Ram, Ram,
Yeah,
Ram, which
right.
is Vaikhari, outside.
Mm,
And then there is Madhyama, which is like a whisper Ram, Ram, Ram. Nobody
mm,
else can hear, but you can hear what you're saying.
yeah.
And then there is Pashyanti, where you'll only see the lips move. Pashyanti means seen. That means the word is only seen. It's not heard.
Right.
And then finally there's Para, where even this doesn't move. The Ram, Ram, Ram happens inside.
In the breath, almost like in the breath.
The
Okay.
breath is only Ram.
Mm,
Okay. So
mm.
these are the four ways to chant a mantra. And you need to take it from external chanting to Madhyama chanting to Pashyanti chanting to internal chanting.
So as a god, as a figure in the Mahabharata, uh, who's Ram, like in a summarized way?
So the Ramayana is the story of the
Oh
avatar of
yeah,
Vishnu.
sorry, Ramayana, not Mahabharata.
Yeah,
Mahabharata,
it's
yeah,
the story of the avatar of
yeah,
Vishnu known as Sri Ram.
right.
And in this story, you have a lot of knowledge. Like I told you, every story is knowledge. It's
Yeah,
Jnana Shakti. And this
yeah,
is the highest form of literature. The Itihasas, the Puranas, and the Vedas are considered the highest form of literature.
yeah,
And everything else is lower knowledge. So if you
right.
want real knowledge, Jnana, it
Hmm.
comes from reading the story of Ram.
Hmm. What was
And
his main message? Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, his main message is agreement. Agreement.
Okay.
Okay. So he says that for things to be functional, there must be agreement between everybody about everything. And that's
Uh,
called Ram Rajya.
Rajya means kingdom,
Kingdom.
right?
Kingdom.
Kingdom. So that could be internal or external, because you talk about decision
Oh,
internal.
external. External kingdom, like a real kingdom. Like
No,
a
I mean
country.
that when you say agreement, we're talking about agreement with others and the nature around us, right?
Yeah, everything. Everything agrees about everything.
And also internal is what you call decision, right? Because I saw in one of your videos you're talking about internal decision and external agreement.
I'm sorry, there was some noise. Could you just repeat that?
In one of your videos, you were talking about internally it's a decision and externally it's a agreement.
No, agreeing with yourself is called a decision, you know. You have two options and then you agree upon one thing with yourself. Your whole being says yes. But sometimes people are conflicted. When you disagree with yourself, it's called indecision. It's the same thing. If you can make a part of yourself arguing for and a part of yourself arguing against, that's called indecision.
So it has to be both agreeing with the outside world and being decisive about.
You should not be conflicted within yourself either. There's agreement everywhere, internally, externally, everywhere.
Okay,
That's
okay. So,
Ramraja.
and if there's a conflict, I think even I saw one of your videos yesterday. I think you were talking about if there's a conflict, then you just pick one. You don't have to overthink it, right?
No, you do have to overthink it.
Mm.
When people say overthinking, that's actually underthinking because they're thinking the same thought again and again. That's what they call
Mm.
overthinking. So somebody told me I'm overthinking. I'm like, what are all these lovely things you think about? And it's just the same thing. Okay. You can
Oh,
ask anyone who says I'm overthinking. What? No, let's list how much you're overthinking. How many books have you thought?
so it's
How many
like a,
pages worth of stuff have you thought about? They can write it on one page what they overthink about.
so that's the autopilot, same thing as autopilot, right?
That's underthinking, autopilot. Vritti. That's called vritti. You're going in
So
the
that, yeah, it's the box. So that's where the
It's a
box,
loop of thought, right? This thought leads to that thought, leads to this thought, leads to that thought. Rock, paper,
and then
scissors.
you keep going in the circles,
Ah,
like going, what they call going in circles, right?
yeah, going in circles. Vritti. Vritta means circle. Vritti means going in circles.
So now let's talk about the solutions to all this. Like, as in, if we have to break out of the box or the circle, what are
Hmm.
some ways? I mean, yoga is one way, but can you just point out some ways to do it?
I don't know any other way. Yoga is the
Because,
only
yeah, because
that
yoga,
I
it's,
know. If you know any
yeah,
other way, tell me.
I mean, yoga itself is so huge. So maybe you can break it down into,
Yoga, there's a book written about it, no? It's called Patanjala Yoga Sutra. He breaks yoga down into 8
yeah, yeah.
parts. Ashtanga says these are the 8 limbs of yoga. And
Mm,
the first is called Yama and Niyama, is called discipline and conduct.
conduct, yeah.
Yama is discipline, Niyama is conduct.
Almost like ethics, right? Ethics kind of.
Yeah, ethics and conduct come under Niyama, well as
But it's
yeah,
not
in English, ethics would include
ethics,
both. It would
but
include
not
both.
morality. Morality would be different, right?
It would include discipline and conduct, ethics. But
Not morality, right? Morality.
morality, no. What is morality? Why do we need it?
That's society based, like
We don't
society.
need
Yeah.
morality. There's no need for morality. You look, everything is about navigation.
Mm.
Morality is supposed to be a tool for you to navigate by knowing what is right and wrong. But that's a wrong way to know what's right and wrong. You should know what's right and wrong depending on the situation, depending on your goals. The goals and situations will tell you what's right and what's wrong. It's so very simple.
So
So
let's
morality is not required. You can just throw it out. It's not
so,
needed.
so let's take an example. Let's say I want to make $1 million, right? I will say, okay, I just rob a bank because there's no morality. Why I just, you know,
How will that take you towards what you want? Do you want only $1 million or do you want to have $1 million and enjoy it? If you want only $1 million and you want to see that in your hands, then you can rob a bank. But if you
Mm.
want to really spend that money like a normal human being, pay your taxes, man, and live like everyone else and earn money,
That's where the goal is important.
that's why the goal is important.
Right, right, right.
This morality is shit. It's not needed.
When the right goal is there, then there's no need
People
of,
without goals need morality.
right, right.
Those who have goals don't want to need morality. They have their goals and they're clear about their goals. So they'll do everything possible to protect that goal. That is the moral thing, the right thing. Anything not protecting your goals, putting your goals, endangering your goals is immorality. the wrong thing. It has to be decided like that, not based on what's written in a book.
Right.
Like these are the 7 sins and these are the 10 commandments and whatever. This is so primitive to me. That's not how you make
Yeah, that's
meaningful
where
navigation.
that's where you go to the education system. I mean, let's not start there because it's a huge topic, but because I know how, how excited, because I'm also very excited. Maybe we can talk about it next time, like the re-education system. I think we have a
Yeah, have a
second,
whole episode for it.
yeah, whole episode. So let's get to a couple of questions. So there's an audience member called Khas Log. He or she is asking, Namaste Guruji, are there any yoga practice or yoga asana practices through which we can change our belief patterns also, or do we have to change our belief first and then practice yoga asanas?
If you have belief, it means you don't have knowledge. So simple. Belief is for the ignorant. Belief is masquerading as knowledge for the ignorant, It's what the ignorant people substitute knowledge with. That's called belief. Drop all belief and go after knowledge. Be hungry for knowledge.
So the asanas, I mean, I think we already talked about it. The asanas come
Yeah,
second.
we haven't talked about it. Once you do the ethics, which is the discipline, and you have
Right.
the conduct, and then you are worthy to learn the asanas.
Right. Yeah.
Then
Okay.
you learn the asanas because the asanas will teach you secrets of the mind, how to access the code of the autopilot and change things in the autopilot.
Okay.
That's what the asana will do. Every asana is based on an adhara, and an adhara is portals into your mind which exist inside your body. 16 portals exist, and you'll learn about all of them.
In the
You will learn
mind.
how to seat your mind within through these portals, how you can access and edit your unconscious mind or your automatic or autopilot mind.
Is that similar to belief system? Can they be considered belief systems?
No, they're not.
Okay.
It is an inner blueprint. It's not a belief.
Blueprint. Okay. It's like
You're
a
not conscious of it. It's totally unconscious.
Can you give me just one small example of what uh, those
Well,
portals?
it is called your self-image, okay? So it is just a software thing. This doesn't have any physical existence. Your self-image is the blueprint by which your body is built. You want to see your self-image, go stand in the mirror naked, in front of the mirror naked, and you'll see how your body is building. It's using your self-image to build it. That's really what you think about yourself, what you see in the mirror.
Right.
So now if you change how you think about yourself and how you want to be, your body will alter automatically. So if I ask people, I always ask people, if you could have a new body, what are the things that you would want to do with that body?
Yeah.
And when you start answering, yeah, I would like to go swimming in the ocean. I would like that. I need an athletic body for that. And I just want to be so sexy and have a lot of sex. So I want a sexy body for that. Or I want to be like able to work non-stop. So I want an energetic body. It's got to have a lot of lung power and a lot of mitochondria, so you can then go on through what you want to do, through your deeds that you plan to do. You need a body that can do that deed. That's called Kriya Shakti. Having a body in the present moment that can do what you want to do is called Kriya Shakti. And the body includes the mind because the blueprint is also for the mind and it fits in this shape of body. So for the work that I'm setting out to do, this body is really good for it. The one I have right now. It's a vehicle. It's really a vehicle. It's nothing else.
Yeah.
Vehicle of action.
Vehicle of
Action.
action, right. Yeah, I think that's where there's like some okay, maybe let me not go there because that's another tangent. But there was somebody else who was asking, what is the difference between dharma and purpose, or is it the same thing?
No, dharma is not purpose. Dharma is doing the right thing to achieve your purpose.
So it's more active.
Going towards your purpose, all the steps that you're taking is dharma. The actions you take to reach your purpose, that's dharma.
Oh, okay.
The actions that take you away from your purpose are adharma.
It's more active, like Dharma is more active,
Dharma is
physical.
about actions, yes. Dharma is
Okay,
about which actions are good and which actions are bad for you to get to your purpose.
right,
Dharma is
right.
not purpose. Purpose is lakshya, a goal. You can
Mm,
call it ichha also, desire.
mm. And that can change, that like we talked about earlier, it's not fixed.
No, you can change your mind. You go somewhere you don't like it, you break up with that and come back. And then you try again somewhere else. That's called learning.
Yeah, which they don't teach in school.
No, they don't. They teach you that failing is bad, and failing is what the main event that leads to learning. So they teach you not to learn when you fail. They teach you that you are a bad person when you fail. That's such a
Yeah,
wrong teaching. They tell you the best thing you can do is to trample on your classmates and can stand first in class.
yeah,
What a selfish teaching.
right.
Why can't you all work together and build something like a tree house, man? Get kids to build tree houses or do something, you know. Get them to do something, start a small business, get them to do it. Why the hell are we teaching them subjects that they never use in their life? Like, I don't know the difference between cos, sine, and tan theta because I've never used it in my life. Why
Yeah,
did I have to learn that? Why was I subjected to those classes? I don't
I know.
know.
Yeah, that's where we can talk about that for hours. Let's
Next episode.
next episode. Let me just quickly share the screen about this mind map so that people are clear about where we are going with this. Like as in like the overall bigger picture. Let me know if you can see the screen.
Yeah, the screen is visible.
Okay, so this is a master class series of 4. So today's first one, no drama, only Rama, unified theory of everything. So basically, this creation theory, some people call it
Mhm.
creation theory, some people call it the theory of everything. I'm trying to find that
We
where's
have a theory of everything. It's called Sarga.
okay. Sarga, SAR.
Sarga, Sarga.
Mm.
Sarga.
What is that? What is it?
That's where, that's the origin of the universe. And it's formless, it's undescribable, and
Mm.
all powerful. Which is what Abrahamic religions are also saying, which is what Sikhism is also saying. Everyone except Buddhism and Jainism is saying that. Jainism also says it, I guess. No, they don't. Except Buddhists and Jains, I think everybody is saying it.
What is the main teaching of the theory?
It's the same theory as science also. Science also says the world emerged from nothing, where there was, you can't describe it. So it spontaneously gave rise to something called Visarga. Visarga are the 3 gunas, Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva.
Right.
Yeah. So the 3 gunas, Rajas is activity, and
Mm.
Tamas is inactivity,
Mm.
and then Sattva is control. So these 3 are very much required.
Those are attributes.
Yeah. And that's Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Brahma is Rajas, activity. Vishnu is control, and Shiva is inactivity.
Right. What they call creator, maintainer, and the destroyer, right?
Destroyer, yeah. Inactivity destroys. When you see a dead body, it's inactive. It's destroyed.
So the definition of destruction, it doesn't mean that we have to literally fight. It could also,
Destruction is activity.
no, I mean, the destruction of the world could be done through inactivity, as in sleeping, right? As in what
The
they call.
world gets destroyed when it stops being functional. It its activity wanes and becomes unfocused, and then finally the activity stops.
Is that the same as sleeping, inactivity?
Yeah. Sleeping is tamas, yes. Sleeping is like death.
So when we sleep at night, it's the dying, as in,
Yeah,
uh,
we're having a death experience.
okay. So that's Shiva. Then we come down to Shiva and Shakti. So then Shiva took the feminine and masculine form,
Shiva
right?
also refers to the divine masculine in
Hmm.
general, as Shakti define the divine masculine, whether male, female, whether Rajas, Tamasic, or Sattvic,
Hmm.
all is Shiva.
Right.
The divine feminine, whether Rajasic, Tamasic, or Sattvic, is Devi, Shakti.
Right.
So that's at a Visarga level. You have uh, the uh, three murtis. Murti means form, the three forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and their Shaktis, which are their feminine forms.
Hmm. Shakti.
And even the male god has a female version of himself. So Shakti is very high. Shakti comes in inside the male as well.
Hmm.
The male is like 50% female, not 50%, like 49% female. And the female is actually 49% male.
So this physical creation, like the physical body and this word, is that would be considered Shakti, right?
Yes, Shakti is the physical universe and the energy in it.
And the Shiva would be the invisible word, or
No, Shiva is the consciousness, the experience of selfhood. Selfhood.
is that the background, as in
The subject,
subject? Okay, so Shakti is
experiencer.
the, yeah, Shakti is the object, Shiva is the sorry, yeah, Shiva is the
Shiva is
subject.
the subject, Shakti is the object.
Right, right,
Purusha and Prakriti are other ways. Sankhya calls it Purusha and Prakriti. Same thing.
right, right. Or positive, negative, all those. Like those are just different ways to say it. And then from Shakti comes like Maya, which is like non-realness of this reality, as in, right? Like,
Shakti is called Maya because she changes, but selfhood is constant, right? Today morning also you feel that, yeah, I exist and I'm a self. And even in the evening you feel that, but your body has completely changed morning to evening. The
yeah,
hormones have changed, the energy level has changed, everything has changed.
right.
So Shakti is called Maya because she changes.
Mm,
Maya means illusion. And Shiva is called Satya because, he doesn't change.
mm. So
So Shiva is
anything
called Prakasha and Shakti is called Vimarsha. Shiva is the source of the light and Shakti is the objects about from which the light of consciousness reflects back and becomes awareness.
like a mirror.
Like how a bat sends out, those radar signals and it sonar signals and it hits a tree and then it gets back that same sound as a reflection and
Yeah,
hears it and knows to avoid the tree.
yeah. That's from the sound level, from a
It's
visual
the same
level.
happening with light. Light is
Yeah,
bouncing. It's same way happening with consciousness. Consciousness is going off in waves, bouncing on objects and coming back to consciousness with a reflection of the object. So Shakti is the objects. And the
yeah,
objects are in a constant state of flux. They are never stable. That's why it's called.
yeah. Illusion. Yeah, that's why it's illusion, because it's not permanent, right? It's not that it's not
Yeah.
real, because some people think it's not
It's not
real, but
unchanging.
yeah.
Yes.
It's not that it doesn't exist. It does exist, right? Like, because some people think Maya means like everything is like fake, like not real.
Very much exists. Those who think it doesn't exist, just take a break, hit them on the head.
That'll be a good group exercise.
Yeah.
Half.
The scientific experiment, each and every time they've got a real bump and real pain.
Yeah,
I said, no,
because
this is Maya. It's an illusion. It doesn't exist. I didn't really hit you. And I hit them again. By the time they get the third bump, they will agree that Maya is real.
right. And the grand illusion or Maha Maya would be
Mahamaya is beyond form.
So the whole thing, not just
But what
species.
changes about her is her desires.
Ah, that's why it's always changing, right? Like,
She is Kameshwari, Tripura Sundari, Rajarajeshwari, Lalita. You can also call her Mahalakshmi. There are so many ways, there are so many forms in which she's appeared, Vishnu Maya, Yoga Maya.
so it's just
Maya.
another way to say that it's the complete, like there's small illusions, and then if you combine all the small
No, no,
Maya,
no. The one that desires to have this illusion is Mahamaya.
so Shakti is the same as
She wants
Mahamaya.
this world of flux. She creates this world of flux so that Shiva has something to look at.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
Shiva can admire her cleverness.
Right. So that's where we get into desire. So the first thing that comes even from Shakti's point of view is the desire, even to create something, right? And then comes the separation between one thing and the other. But
Yes,
before that,
desire is totally important, and this Buddhism is going on another tangent in your in
yeah,
your
yeah,
mind.
that's why I have, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because like I don't think they understand the assignment.
So because from what I understand, the main teaching of Buddhism is the main root of suffering is desire.
That is
So,
Theravada Buddhism when Buddha was a young fool.
okay.
Later he matured and he improved his whole theory, but nobody wants to talk about that. They made Theravada into a thing because it was working commercially. It got a lot of patronage.
So
So
what was the updated version of the?
Theravada was convenient because they found that monks don't cause revolutions. Monks practicing ahimsa do not non-violence. Ahimsa is not non-violence, by the way. So, monks practicing ahimsa or non-violence will not be a threat. So they supported a large part of the population to learn from these people so that the population remains docile. In Theravada Buddhism, there are no gods with weapons. But suddenly when you come to Vajrayana Buddhism, every god has weapons. Again, violence is back in Buddhism. Violence
So
is
what?
not there in early Buddhism.
So according to the latest version of Buddhism,
The
what
latest is called Vajrayana. The
okay.
last stuff that Buddha taught
Uh,
is called Vajrayana.
was
It's
it the
practiced in
same
Tibet.
Gautam Buddha, or there was another Buddha after that?
Gautam Buddha's last version was Vajrayana, which was continued by monks from India like Shantipada and few others. No, sorry. Shantipada was Theravada. Who are the writers? Like, I can think of Tibetan writers, but they had Indian teachers. So I don't remember their names.
Do you think the Dalai Lama comes from the same lineage or is different?
Yes, Dalai Lama's entire 4 schools that of Tibetan Buddhism, including the Gelugpa, which is Dalai Lama school, they are all following Vajrayana.
So this Vipassana meditation, do you think it comes from the original Buddhism, or is it like
Theravada.
Theravada? Yeah, yeah.
It's
So because
a very primitive form of meditation.
yeah, this Goenka, this Indian teacher called Goenka, he started teaching
Yeah, he
Vipassana.
kind of revived it. I don't know why, but it's the most primitive form of meditation, which failed even for Buddha. Yet it worked commercially. It won a lot of patronage because it makes people quiet.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
It
I,
suits the powers that be. The
yeah,
citizens are quiet
docile
and not
makes people docile,
docile.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And also, I feel not every tool or technique is for every person. I think different things work for different people also, right?
I don't think this is a fun park where you can say, I'll take this ride or that ride. It's not an amusement park. It's a matter of survival, life and death.
Okay.
And then there's only one path if you want to live. You have to have a goal and you have to follow your dharma, which is the teachings of Sanatan. If you're doing that, you're a Sanatani already. If you have life goals and you're being disciplined enough to focus on those goals, you've already taken the first step of yoga.
So the word enlightenment itself is different connotations. So is there such thing called enlightenment
There is
or?
no Indian word called enlightenment. We have samadhi and we
Mm,
have nirvana, which is Buddhist word.
yeah.
And then we have, so nirvana means inner silence, which I agree. If you have inner silence, you'll be enlightened. You're so-called enlightened. You have to be quiet inside, shut up inside. Then you can notice what's outside. Otherwise, you'll be inside your own story with your false knowledge that has no application in this world.
But is there such a thing as ultimate enlightenment, as in like,
Yes, immortality.
oh, that's immortal. Okay.
In
Immortality.
yoga, it's called vibhuti.
Vibhuti. Because vibhuti is also the thing we put on our forehead, right? That's a
Correct,
different,
correct, correct. Yeah.
that's just a symbol of that.
Vibhuti means miraculous powers, siddhis, supernatural powers, superhuman powers.
So you mean when we become immortal, we have vibhuti, or we,
No, no,
I,
no. Vibhuti, in Sanskrit, one word can mean many things.
okay, okay.
Sometimes nothing to do with each other.
I see, I see. So now we talk about the ways, and then there's not to get enlightened, but to learn. Basically, let's just call it learning, because I feel there's no such thing as ultimate goal, because there's once we achieve a goal, there's another goal, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes. You will be surprised how infinite the universe is and how abundant.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's so many times in my life, I'm like, I feel like 2 or 3 years back, I was like, I'm complete. And then and the universe starts throwing. That's where the universe is just a reflection. It will start throwing things at you, right?
That is Brita Darshana, the philosophy of death. They tell you that you can be complete and that you can have enlightenment after you die. And you can have enlightenment while you're alive. And so then you'll be complete and then you won't want anything else. You'll be free of desires. These are all just cartoon states, man. These are not mature religions.
Yeah, because if we are
Sanatan doesn't
breathing,
talk about all this.
we already have the desire to breathe.
Correct.
Yeah.
We are not an anti-life religion. We are pro-life.
Mhm.
I mean, not like not like anti-abortion, pro-life, but it's life positive is a much better way to put it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a life
Lo-
positive. Well, Buddhism is early Buddhism is a life negative religion, and later Buddhism is again life positive.
Okay. So going to yoga, so yoga would have different, I mean, there's many, I think you said 9 different, right? So, but if
Eight,
you,
eight, eight, eight.
8 different.
Ashtanga Yoga.
Right, but just to summarize it, is the path of devotion. Is that devotion part of yoga?
Yes, Ishvara Pranidhana is one of the conducts.
Bhakti, right? Same as bhakti.
Ishvara Pranidhana,
Yeah.
which means uh, gathering all of your prana from Ishvara or God.
Mm. Kind of a dedication, right?
Gathering your energy from God, not from anywhere else.
So it's like both devotion and dedication into one thing.
No, it has nothing to do with devotion or dedication. It means connection.
Oh, okay. Feeling the connection, right?
You need not be devoted or dedicated with God. You need to be connected to go and talk to God and say, hey, what's this new shit happening in my life? What do you have
Mm.
to say about that? That's called connection. And then God will say something which will calm you down, And you'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
what it
So
is.
that's where it goes
Like
back.
Neil Dolan Walsh did conversations with
Yeah,
God. That's
right.
connection. That
But then,
is Ishvara Pranidhana.
how do you know that's the real thing? It might be real for him.
It's real because it works. Put it to the test.
Okay.
No? If I got a method to fly and God told me a method to fly, I should test it. If I'm flying after that, then it's come from God. Otherwise, it's my own ego making it up.
Hmm.
Why can't you
And
test?
Yeah, test it out, and if it doesn't work, then yeah.
And soon you'll know, I mean, deep inside, there's something called conscience, man. It's your reputation, okay? It's your self-reputation.
Is it the same as intuition?
No, no, no. No, conscience is serotonin. It's a neurochemical in your brain. If it goes low, it means that you're doing the wrong thing. It means that whatever you're doing is not up to your standard. It's falling below your self-image, but you're still doing it anyway. So then you'll have very low serotonin. But when you start following your conscience and you start doing the right thing and you say, I have to live up to my image of myself, who I am, then you will produce serotonin and you will be mentally stable. You'll have a minimum level so that you can have mental health. Most people's mental health issues are an issue with serotonin, and that serotonin issue is happening because of their deeds. It's the fastest way to get imposter syndrome, you know.
So that's what I
Who you
would.
say you are is not what you do. Then you lose serotonin.
Who you are is not what you do.
Yes, who you say that you are is not what you do. Then you'll have imposter syndrome.
Oh, okay. There's a conflict, internal conflict.
There's an internal lack of serotonin in your body.
So that's
You
what
can't
you.
fool this chemical. You can't fool serotonin.
Yeah. So that's the conscience you call it. But what's the difference between intuition and conscience?
So your conscience will tell you this is gas. This is not God. This is your ego. Your conscience will tell you. It'll drop your serotonin to tell you that.
But
You
I,
won't
I,
feel good.
I call it intuition.
Intuition doesn't exist. There are just subtle senses. With
Okay, that's
subtle
like
senses, you can know things.
right based on the past patterns and stuff like
It's
that.
also a skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing and opening your third eye is a skill.
So I
Subtle
might
eye. A subtle eye.
yeah, because that's when you get into subconscious mind, because my subconscious mind already has these patterns. And if I make a decision based on some of those patterns, I might call it intuition, but it's actually already built into my mind.
Everywhere is connected to where you are right now. And every time is connected to where you are right now.
Quantum field, they call
So
it.
here and now contains everything that ever existed anywhere. Exists even here if you tune in with your subtle senses. So when you have these subtle senses known as tanmatra, when you're able to tune into it, then that appears in English as a crude word called intuition, which means nothing.
Right. That's the education system that
Yeah.
let's just
English
blame it
is
on that.
unsuited to learn yoga.
Right. And then so that's devotion, and then there's the physical, the hatha yoga, that's just like a tool, right?
Hatha, no. Hatha means murder yoga. Hatha.
Hatha means
Hatha
move,
means stubborn yoga.
move it, right? It's like moving something.
Hatha means stubborn yoga. People who are really stubborn warriors, they can practice hatha yoga. It's not for the weak-willed.
But it is one of the 8 forms of yoga, right?
Hatha yoga is not. The other forms are pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi.
And where does tantra fit into this?
Tantra has nothing to do with yoga.
Yeah.
Tantra is science. It's technology.
Yeah,
It's ways of achieving material things, just like Western science is ways of achieving material things. Even Tantra is focused on that.
tools and techniques, right?
Tools and techniques for you to use spiritual powers to achieve material things.
Okay.
So while Tantra would come under the umbrella of Sanatan Dharma, it is used in yoga, it is used in Sankhya, it is used in all the other darshanas of yoga. So Tantra goes across Mimamsa. All the pujas that we do at home as Sanatanis, these are all techniques. They're all Tantra. When your grandmother removes Buri Nazar for you, you know, like if somebody's diminished your energies because you were clumsy about yourself and you allowed your energy to be lost, then you come back then the grandmother can repair it with Tantra. That's what she does.
Okay.
Most of the techniques I put out on my YouTube channel are Tantra.
Okay. Yeah, that's where we have to differentiate between Western. I mean, obviously, West, they will distort it, but Tantra is a word that has
Western
been.
thinks Tantra is some kind of spiritual fucking,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but that's not Tantra.
Yeah, that's where we have to be careful where we learn from, right? That's the learning again, going
Come on,
back.
man. If you want to learn
Yeah,
our knowledge, you come to India.
yeah, yeah.
Don't learn it from a white guy.
But even in India, do you think some people are teaching it the wrong way?
Of course, we are all white guys now. After the British came and went, they did a thorough job of making us all white.
So then how would somebody know who came from the West who's teaching the
And
right?
we are poor white guys. We're not good white guys. We're not
Right.
good at being white guys. We're not good at being white guys, and we don't even know how to be brown.
Yeah, yeah, I know it's kind of that chaotic state. But then if somebody, let's say from West says, okay, I want to learn yoga, he goes to India.
I have a lot of Western students.
No, no, what I'm asking is how would they know it's the right teacher?
How will they know if it's the right teacher? First, you have to have a goal. I told you, right and wrong is a question of having a goal. What's your goal? If you come here without a goal, then you'll get every sort of wrong teacher in the world. If you have a goal, then you'll find somebody who's going to help you with that goal, right?
Right, right, right. Intention,
Wrong and
intention.
right comes from your goal. Is your teacher taking you to your goal? Then he's the right teacher. If you
Yeah,
don't have a goal, you don't know the right teacher or the wrong teacher. You'll just learn from just anyone.
right. So then going into immortal yoga, because can you define what is immortal yoga?
Healing faster than you decay.
Oh, okay,
Healing
yeah,
faster
right,
than you
right.
repair.
Yeah, and then there's 6 forms. So can you briefly touch on each one of them?
Aghora is to work with the worlds of death and the tamasic shaktis, the ones which diminish you. Aghora works from there.
Okay.
Because Aghora is not scared of violence.
Mm,
Aghora means non-violent.
okay, Nath.
So Aghora is like a weapon, okay? And it's
Multiple meanings again, right? Aghora has multiple meanings.
yeah. And then
But
the Nath comes from Shankarnath, sorry,
yeah,
Matsyendranath,
yeah.
who was a fish who overheard Shiva teaching Parvati under the water.
Mm,
And he turned into a human being later, and then he taught some yoga, and that is called Nath Yoga.
mm,
So there's a certain set of specific techniques which Nath yogis use,
mm,
and a certain set of philosophies that they follow.
mm,
Yeah, but the most distinctive feature of a Nath yogi is to imitate Shiva,
mm.
grow the long locks, and just try to become Shiva himself. Shivoham. They want to be Shiva themselves.
Okay.
So that's an Nath yogi. The Giri yogi comes from Parvati, and it
Mm,
is more suited for women.
mm,
And here the goal is to become like Devi herself. But
mm,
men also practice it. And yeah. Then the Siddha yoga is the yoga of becoming, Siddha means success, okay? The
yeah,
art of being successful.
right,
That means achieving all your goals, nailing everything, getting more than you wanted, creating abundance. That is Siddha yoga. That's what I
right.
teach now to the public
Mm,
because that's what they need right now.
right.
And then there's Vajra yoga, which is all about becoming a force of nature yourself,
Mm,
supernatural powers. And then there's Naga yoga, which is coming from the Nagas, like the snakes, the snake people.
reptilian. Is it the reptilian same?
Well, snake people, not reptilian.
Okay.
So there are these people who can convert into snakes, and many of them are good, many of them are evil, but
Uh-huh.
all of them practice Naga Yoga.
They still exist,
Yeah, yeah.
but they're hidden from society, obviously.
Yeah, they mainly are subterranean. There's the subterranean people
Meaning under the earth, right?
who have learned to live as snakes under the earth. Yeah. They have a form to live under the earth where when they come above the surface, they turn into humans. But the snake form is very suited to live under the earth.
So they have human, half snake.
Every snake you see is not a snake. Many of them are nagas.
So you mean to say their body itself is half
Mhm.
snake,
The-
half
Not
body,
half snake.
full
It's
snake?
fully snake.
But
But
they,
when they come to the surface and spend too much time, they find that a human body is more optimal. So they're shape shifters. They shift into
ah,
humans.
oh, I see, I see. Okay, okay. But it's not like they're not public, obviously, because it's
Yeah, they're not public maybe because they don't want to be known that.
scared because people will get scared, right? Like, yeah, that's
It's okay if people get scared. It's just that they are not very friendly to human beings unless you get introduced. My guru is a Naga. He's called Nagraj,
hmm,
Babaji Nagraj.
hmm,
So his mother was a Nagkanya. His mother was a Naga, and his father was Gandharva,
hmm,
sky dwellers. His father was a sky dweller, and his mother was a subterranean dweller.
hmm,
The Nayars in Kerala are descended from the Nagas.
hmm, hmm.
And I've met so many people with Naga blood in them. I have a few of them working for me, and they have miraculous powers.
What about Aryans? Some people say Indians came from
Arya
what is
just means gentleman or somebody who's sophisticated.
so it's not a race.
A well-cultured person is called an Aryan. It's not a race.
Okay, that's again a
An
misrepresentation.
educated person is called an Aryan. Literate, educated, cultured, polished
Hmm.
person, nobleman is called Aryan.
Yeah, because I think some people consider them as a race.
There's a lot of science to show that the whole of India is the same race. We have the same DNA, the South Indian and the North Indian.
Hmm.
So it's not up for debate whether there was an Aryan invasion. It's just a theory invented to divide India.
So evolution. So do you believe in Darwin's theory of evolution, or what is your theory
How
of
can I believe in
evolution?
it? I don't even know what it is.
Okay, let's just say, w- did humans come from monkeys or no?
Humans come from monkeys. Why would they come from monkeys?
No, I mean in terms of the theory of evolution, the most
Monkeys, the humans that came from monkeys are called Vanara.
okay.
Our origins are divine. There were divine kings called Manus who were made during the Satya Yuga,
Mm.
and it's their lineage that is all of us now. They came directly out of Brahma.
Ah. So that's where we get into Hanuman, right? So can you just explain a little bit about Hanuman?
Yeah, the Vanaras are a very powerful race that even exists right now on the earth. And most of them have moved to the Himalayas. Many of the locals call them Yeti.
Hmm.
So those are the Vanaras. They're very huge, powerful human beings. Even Hanuman is one of them.
Is it Bigfoot? In the West, they call Bigfoot.
Yeah, could be. They call it Bigfoot. So there have been sightings, and some people have seen them, and they do live, but they live in places away from our stupid cities. Can't meet a Vanara here right now. But the capital of the Vanaras used to be here, Karnataka, Hampi,
Hmm.
Ishkinta.
Hmm. So now they only in the Himalayas, like India and
There are some living in Hampi. I met a few.
okay. But the
But
origin is from the like India, all over India, they were
all over the
before,
world, there were Vanaras all over the world.
all over the world. Okay. But that's not the same as monkeys, obviously.
No.
So Hanuman is like the leader of that Vanaras, or
Look, all of this evolution business is guesswork, okay? So they say we came, our closest cousins are the chimpanzees, and after that, this us. Chimpanzees evolved into us. Or bonobos and the great apes, we are one of the great apes. We have nothing in common with those great apes. They're
yeah,
not intelligent like us.
the way they judge, I mean, the way they decide is they say 99% of our DNA is still same as
I think
monkey.
95% will match with a potato also. That doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, they can prove anything. Like science is such a thing, right? They can prove
Science
anything.
is guesswork. It's just storytelling.
Yeah, also they do this thing called consensus, right? Like for example, in the medical industry, right? They would just take 5,000 or whatever, 100 people, they would give them a medicine. And if like 90 or 80% get cured, they say that, okay, it's a medicine. What they
See,
did was,
look, for something to work and to be made into a medicine, it should work 100% of the time, but it doesn't. In the
I mean,
trials itself, if it passes a certain percentage, abysmally low percentage, then the FDA approves it and it gets out there
yeah.
as a pharmaceutical. So
No, I
the
mean,
bar is very low.
my point is that they're taking a small number of people to do the survey,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
The
anyway,
bar
that's
is very low, is what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah, right, right. So that's Hanuman. So Hanuman is like a bhakt of Ram. So can you explain the relationship between Ram and Hanuman?
They asked Hanuman only, like, what's the difference?
No,
Who
not the
are you?
different.
I think they asked Hanuman, who are you? I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to recall this conversation. I'm not able to remember.
Mm.
But he said, I can't recall, but it's very profound. No, it's not coming to me.
I mean,
But
in terms
okay,
of the
but who was
story,
Hanuman in terms of what?
like
In
the
terms
whole
of who were his
Ramayana.
parents?
No, no. I mean, in terms of the story, the Ramayana story, what is Hanuman's significance?
Hanuman is like an eternal servant of Ram,
Mm.
and he's an Amsha of Shiva. I mean, he's an avatar of Shiva. So Shiva came in monkey form just to help Vishnu out when he came in the form of Rama. And he was a great
So,
help, a pivotal character in the Ramayana, and an example of what is true devotion
devotion, yeah.
and surrender and strength, which comes from devotion and surrender, and intelligence, which comes from surrender and devotion. That's Hanuman.
Mm. And Krishna would be different. So the Ramayana and the Mahabharata is like, are they completely different or they overlap somewhere?
No, no, it's a continuum. Both are called itihasa, they're called history.
Mm,
So the Ramayana happened first and then the Mahabharata. It's the happenings of the past.
right. But Krishna, does he have any relationship with like Ram or Hanuman or Shiva? Are they like interlinked?
Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu, just like Rama.
Okay.
So he has all the powers that Vishnu has, just like Rama had.
Okay. And Kali would be, who's the goddess Kali?
Kali is the mother goddess, like Mahamaya herself.
Shakti
Yeah, Mahamaya in a form, the dark form of her, the tamasic form of her.
of Shakti, right? Same as.
Yeah, the destructive side of Shakti is Kali.
Mm. And Kamakhya Devi would be another.
Kamakhya is Kameshwari. It's when Sati, Shiva's first wife, Sati, who was also Shakti,
Mm,
Shakti's first avatar as a human was as I mean, Shakti's first avatar as a woman was a lady called Sati,
mm,
who is the daughter of Daksha. And when she died, Shiva was overcome with grief and he was carrying her dead body and destroying all the worlds. And then Vishnu led forward his Sudarshan chakra and relieved Shiva of his grief by chopping the body into 52 pieces. I don't know how many pieces, but 52 fell in Bharat. And one of those pieces, her vulva, became Kamakhya. So out of that, a beautiful woman emerged, and she is called Kamakhya Devi.
I see. Yeah, so let me just go through this some questions here. What is the final goal of Sanatan Dharma is one of the questions.
Immortality. Why aren't people listening? Immortality. To be
And
continuously a part of a new and newer story without having to lose your body, be born again, go through puberty, find out about sexuality, fail at it, then go try how to learn how to earn a living. You don't have to do all that if you have an immortal body.
yeah, I think that's where,
Let's put it as it's a skillful way of living rather than going on dying all the time.
yeah, because now I think there's this thing called death wish, like people are subconsciously want to die, right?
Everyone has planned the day of their death and they can tell it themselves. If you look into your future and ask yourself, how do I see myself 50 years from now? Most people can't see themselves. That means they're going to die before 50 years.
Yeah, but
Then you
again,
can roll that back and say, till what age can you see yourself?
yeah,
So
so
this is
let's,
where you can access your serotonin and your conscience and find out.
yeah, then I can change it, right? Like, let's say I already decided my death, but I can say, no, I don't want to die anymore.
It would be responsible to change it. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 that's where the
Death is sheer irresponsibility, said my teacher.
irresponsibility.
Irresponsibility.
Yeah, but if you look at nature, everything is dying,
We are
living,
not
dying.
nature, we're human beings.
You're not part of nature.
No, we have consciousness. Only our bodies are part of nature. The being riding inside this vehicle is not a part of nature. It is part of Shiva. It is not Prakriti, it is Purusha inside a human being.
So that part is immortal.
The Purusha part can get deluded, lose its energy, and start being incarnated as animals as well. When somebody is dying, my one of my gurus called Ibrahim, he became immortal as a Persian prince. But
Yeah.
in his previous birth, he was a Marwadi
Hmm.
in living in Varanasi, a trader from Rajasthan, and then he died. And when he was dying, he saw that he'd never got a chance to learn from Kabir, even though Kabir was alive in Varanasi. And he's like, man, my life has not been much more worth than this buffalo, because some buffalo was going bah outside his house. They said, as his dying thoughts were like, my life is just, this buffalo's life is better than mine. Is
Yeah.
what he genuinely felt from his heart. He became
Yeah.
a buffalo. Next thing he knows, he finds himself going across the river and come back and born as a buffalo. So then he had to descend into the animal world before he could get birth as a prince. One day they ate the buffalo and then they made a drum out of his hide. And that drum was so very, because of his wish to become human again, that drum was infused with a lot of divine vibration because he had prayed a lot to God, even as a buffalo, somehow, some memory that he can pray to God. And then he
Hmm.
escaped from there before he forgets. And then his soul was stuck inside the leather of the buffalo, and it became
Wow.
the drum. And the drum was so fascinating. He enjoyed his life as a drum. And then the king, it was given to Kashi Naresh. The king was playing that drum so much, ignoring all his wives. One of his wives came and slashed the drum. And that time his soul got liberated. And then, because he was in a king's environment, his last thought was, wouldn't it be nice to be a king? And then he became a king in Persia.
Changed his mind. Yeah. Again, changing the mind is important. Yeah. Because sometimes I feel the birds, because I know we're talking about animal, but the birds also metaphorically speaking, they are so free, right? They can fly anywhere, do anything. So,
They're
uh,
not free. They have to live within the rules given to them by nature. It's not
yeah,
a free.
yeah. Right, right. Just because they can
We don't
fly.
have to live in any rules given by nature because we only our body is nature. And because of our ability to violate the rules, we're sick today because we violated it in wrong ways. We're not understood the needs of the body. We created artificial light and we created electromagnetic frequencies which are non-native, and we messed up our life. And we created chemicals and artificial ways to grow plants, and now our body is anything but natural.
Yeah, it's like they're talking about artificial intelligence, but even the body is also artificial.
The food we eat doesn't look anything like how nature made it.
So what is the
So we have transcended nature
yeah,
in many ways.
right.
We're able to get a continuous supply of food, unlike other animals.
We can fly to another
We
country
can grow our food, man. What
no,
animal grows their food?
right, right. But it's more destructive as in, like than constructive. Like overall, where we're going is more
There are
destructive.
enough blueprints of how to live constructively because it's been put down in the Puranas and we can read them and live constructively. But unfortunately, people don't believe in the Puranas. So they don't have faith in the Puranas.
Mm,
Their faith is invested in Thames Nadi, science, which is the most irresponsible thing in the universe. With
yeah,
science,
yeah.
we prove anything is right and anything is wrong.
So do you think quantum physics is getting closer to spirituality?
Yes.
So that's a form of science, right? Quantum physics.
Yeah, it's a subtler science than Newtonian science. It's more
Right.
mature.
Yeah, yeah, right. So that's where I think they're coming up with this unified theory of creation is the whole quantum concept of quantum field, right?
Miles again ahead of them, man.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting there. It's just like for example,
But then
people.
in like hundreds of years, not now.
Yeah, there's this guy. I mean, there's so many people like
No
Joe.
idea because the basic assumptions is that, the universe is unconscious. There's no consciousness anywhere.
I mean, they don't have words for it, but they just call it quantum field, right?
Yes. The
That's
quantum
the
field, we've been calling it Hiranyagarbha for how long now? 5,000 years, 6,000 years, 10,000 years. We've been calling it Hiranyagarbha. What are these guys doing?
No, I mean the thing with science is they're logical, so unless they see it, they won't believe it, right? So how do you see
Look,
consciousness?
man, even the internet has come up from gods. It's not
Invisible.
just come up like that.
Yeah, right.
It's divine, okay?
Even the Wi-Fi is invisible, like we cannot see it, but it's working. So that's where I think science is realizing that just because we cannot see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? That's the whole.
Yeah, I mean, to create new technology, all of the, cutting edge people in AI and all that, and AGI,
Yeah,
they're all looking to the divine for inspiration. They
yeah,
have their own spiritual practice and they have their own set of understanding about where all of their ideas are coming from.
yeah. That's where we
There,
get
there
into.
are invisible beings supporting even science. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's, I think that's close to what you call as dreaming, right? Like what can you
Einstein came up with all this quantum physics stuff on in dreams. He used to dream that
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a photon and what's happening to me. And he used to get into the dream and experience it and then come back and formulate his theories.
So in the dream state, are they getting into the astral world or like
So the astral world is called leaving the cage. It's not a dream state. It
hmm.
is a very wakeful state.
So it's a different version of this
You can
world.
leave the cage and look at the cage, and you realize, this vehicle is just a vehicle. I left my body so many times, looked at my body,
Yeah,
just a vehicle. My
right.
consciousness doesn't get harmed or scratched or touched or burnt or dried or wet or anything. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Nothing happens to the Atman.
Hmm.
Atman is unchanging. All the
But
changing stuff is the vehicle of the Atman.
so intellectually, I know but what you're saying is that practically, unless we experience that, then
Unless you get out of your body, it's all gas. You don't
right.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that's when, okay, let's try to wrap it up so that maybe you can tell us a little bit about, because now going back to the solutions, and then one of, obviously you don't accept anybody, but you are a teacher and a guru. So can you just explain just quick, little bit about what you do and what is your process of accepting students and stuff like that?
I am teaching students who want to, I'm teaching them the traditional syllabus for yoga, which was invented by Gorakshnath. Gorakshnath is a student of Nath, and
Mm.
he created Siddhas. And he created this training program for Siddhas, how
Mm.
to create successful people.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm teaching. And there's no bar for this. If you're able to follow the bare discipline that we follow, then I'll teach you. I don't discriminate. I've got Muslims learning from me, Christians, foreigners, everybody.
And you don't have to be, I mean, somebody doesn't have to come and physically meet you. They can do it
No, it's
virtually.
all online. It's
Yeah.
really up there, you know. So anyway, like that's one outreach. That's one way I'm doing it online.
Mm.
But also I want to do in-person sessions, which is very intense. Uh, for those who are qualified, those who can
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that also I've planned. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, because we were also
I think
talking
when
about,
you go to nature and you learn from
yeah.
nature under the guidance of a guru, you learn a lot more. I can teach the same subjects, but in a different way.
Yeah.
It's certainly more effective in person. So I'm going
Mhm.
to have some of those 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay. Great. Yeah, yeah, because we were talking about doing something in Thailand
Yeah,
also.
let's do. I'm
Yeah.
up for it. Let's do in Thailand. I love
Right.
Thailand.
Yeah. So let me see any questions. A person under sea in lift if how is Kriya Yoga, what was taught to Lahiri Mahasya by Babaji, different or similar to what you're teaching?
It's completely different experiment. Babaji's withdrawn that experiment has failed.
So why do people not get the memo?
Like who's successful with Kriya Yoga? What have they achieved? Which Kriya Yogis achieved anything of worth? Tell me.
Because peace, people think peace of mind is the goal of meditation. That's all right.
Watch my YouTube channel, you'll get peace of mind.
Yeah, no, I'm saying in general, why do people go for all these things, Kriya Yoga, Vipassana? Because they think,
Kriya Yoga is also a science of immortality, but how many of them became immortal? They're all dying pat pat pat.
so the goal going again is the goal was not defined, the purpose is not defined. They're just going there because everybody is doing it, kind of a thing.
Just like a trend, man. Now that trend is fading also. Nobody's even asking about it. They're having less and less students every year.
So does Mahavatar Babaji, has he given you any new form of meditation or techniques? Or is it the same?
It's all in the Vedas.
Okay, okay. It's just the way you teach it is like the for the common, I mean,
I
for the
mean,
modern
he
time.
didn't teach me all of those things. I asked him, aren't you Kriya Baba? He started laughing. He said, if you only do Kriya Yoga,
Mm,
whose father will do Icha Yoga and Jnana Yoga? Because you have to
mm,
develop your past, your present, and your future. Remember, Kriya is only in the present.
yeah,
Kriya Shakti is in the present.
yeah, yeah.
But Mahashya didn't teach anything. He didn't teach any Icha Yoga, Jnana Yoga, nothing.
Mm.
Only Kriya. Do Kriya, keep doing Kriya. Do Kriya. Do have blind faith and do it, and something will happen. Nothing happens. I had these great experiences. Okay, and what's the use of that? I don't know.
And you have to keep doing the same thing every day, like as in,
Look, when there was a transmission from Babaji to Lari Mahasaya, you can go to the cave in Rani Khet where it happened,
mm,
Dwarahat, and then you can experience the energy there.
mm,
Definitely more than just Kriya there. There's future, there's past, there's everything. But somehow in
mm,
the Chinese whispers of that time, it was not transmitted properly.
mm.
So Lahari Mahasaya himself died.
Mhm.
And his body, when you look at his body, his big pot belly and all that, shows that he had some disease.
Right.
And then he passed away. And then he taught it to Yukteswar, who looks like, I don't know, he looks like a very unhappy man. And then there's Yogananda, who's also swollen up like a potato.
Yeah.
So they don't know the basics about health only. What Kriya Yoga?
Okay, one last question before we wrap it up. In today's world, who you think is teaching the right form of yoga in the, like Sadhguru, or like there's so many teachers, right?
Hmm.
Who,
Nobody's teaching from the Vedas. Not just nobody.
okay.
Nobody. Everyone's like, it's like we can do whatever we want.
So this art of living is just more like a hype, I mean, like a trend, all these things.
I don't know what it is, but it's not yoga from the
Yeah,
Vedas.
I see. Okay, okay.
Nobody over there even knows anything about the Puranas or Vedas. There are like Sri Sri has made places where people can learn Vedas. So I can't
Mm.
speak about those places, but the general programs offered to the public seems to be a big mix of psychology along
Mhm.
with peppered by some popular Western yoga ideas,
Yeah.
and that's really what it is.
Yeah, like personally, me, I connect more with like people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, and also like people who do NLP and neuroscience, because
That's another copy from yoga, no? They came here and like Bandler came here and stole everything from yoga.
yeah,
He
like the
admits it also in so many videos.
sorry.
He says, I held a yogi off the cliff and then he taught me secrets.
Oh,
He says in some of his talks.
oh, yeah. I mean, it's everything is a version of the original thing, like that. Unless, like you're saying in Sanskrit, if you study something, that would be the original. But you're working on that. You're saying you're going to make
I
some.
already started a channel. It's called Decoding Devi Bhagavatam.
Yeah, I saw one video was posted yesterday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the next one's coming up soon. And yeah, I'm doing this.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
keeping thought.
yeah, I'll put all the links down. One thing I noticed is there's many of your students or people, they start their own channel on different topics. Is that like, I mean, what is,
Service, service
yeah.
to people.
Okay, okay. So different topics, and
Yeah,
then,
some are focused on women, some are focused on feminine power, some are focused on masculine power, some are focused on Hanuman Gada. I have one on Hanuman Gada. One channel I do with a kid, my student's kid,
right.
and another channel is with in Kannada over here, general spirituality. So
Mm.
there are a lot of channels. There's also a Hindi podcast we do called Yoga Chitta, which is on my
Mm.
channel only.
But I mean, is Sanskrit is not required to be studied before we learn anything,
No,
right?
I mean even my Sanskrit is not that great.
Okay.
I also need Sanskrit Amarkosh to verify. I know the grammar, but my
Mm.
vocabulary is not that great. It's improving now.
Okay.
See, the thing is, I know what's in that stuff because I've lived that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. The
When I
meaning,
read it, I can tell you in English what it is. I
right,
just
right.
feel it. But I'm telling you that each and every word that has been translated, but sometimes very wrongly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially the
Bhagavad
Westerners.
Gita also, oh my God. I'm going to do a translation of Bhagavad Gita. It's been mistranslated for like 100 years now.
Yeah. So next time, I think next Saturday, we're doing the next one. So we're going to go over the re-education system, or yeah, re-education system. We are what we learn is the tagline. Uh, I made it up because generally people say we are what we eat, but obviously that's true as well.
This is nice. We are what we learn is correct.
Yeah, or you are what you learn. And that's on 1st June. And
Mhm.
then there's this page on my website. It's called radicalpurposecoaching.com/gurus hyphen Pashupati. And here you can see all the schedule. You can fill up this form if you want to post any questions for next time. And then also you can mention your interest in the retreat in Thailand, tentatively planned for first week of August. You can join as a participant, volunteer, sponsor, or pilgrimage, or all of them. Pilgrimage, just we planning some visits to the local temples here. So anything you want to add to this before we wrap up, Guruji?
No, that's great. I mean, I would love to hear questions from the audience. You can also leave it as a comment on this, right? On a YouTube.
Sure, sure. You mean in the description?
Yeah, I mean, later when people watch this video, they'll probably leave comments. But if you can leave it here in the official place, that would be great.
Yeah, either way, yeah, you can either
Questions
because the live chat, I think I don't know if
not
it
working?
no, no, I'm saying I don't know if it gets recorded in the you. I think it does get recorded. Yeah, it goes. But I mean, the main thing is either you can put it in the comment of this video, or you can fill up this form and also mention your interest for the retreat or workshop in August. And then next week, 1st June, same time, we will go over the re-education system. And thank you, Guruji, for joining this. And any last word, I mean, last comments you have before we leave?
No, I mean, I think Lokesh's intention and my intention here are to deepen your knowledge about these things and to remove common confusion. So Lokesh is asking questions from your perspective, and he's doing this for you. So if you want to get it more relevant and really have me answer all your questions, do participate and send in your questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. There's some comments in the chat, but maybe if it didn't get answered, you can put it in the comments, or you can fill up that form, or you can directly email me from my website, which is radicalpurposecoaching.com. I also do one-on-one coaching, and I also do workshops in-person workshops in Bangkok. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to collaborating more. I'm also learning. I'm also a student of Guruji, so I'm learning from him, and we also want to do collaborate on more projects together. Again, thank you so much, Guruji, and
Thank
talk
you.
to you soon. Take care. Thank you.